Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I just wanted to talk to you a little about the whole relactation process and maybe a little bit of why I stopped breastfeeding. So if you guys know me from Instagram, you know that I struggled with breastfeeding a lot in the first 2 months, like bad. I need to do like a whole video on like just the whole first 2 months because I feel like a lot of people are like, if you can get through the first 2 weeks, for me, it was the first 2 months. But around the 3 month mark, and actually a few weeks before, I had made a very like level-headed, logical decision that it just wasn't something that I wanted to do anymore. And all of the reasons you can say are selfish. It's summer. I was kind of getting frustrated that I couldn't wear certain things, or that, even around the house, like I was always in a robe, or, like just anything where I can just whip a boob out and like feed him. I was kind of self-conscious going anywhere where I had to wear a bathing suit because of leaking and things like that. And then, just not being able to really like go out for prolonged period of times, whether I was with him or not, without having to worry about when I was going to feed, pump, what I was going to bring. There was actually an event that I went to where I had planned everything out. I had brought my pump with me, but I forgot the actual like the things that like connect to the flange or whatever, so I couldn't pump. So I had just made the decision that I wanted to stop, and I made the decision, and I started to just kind of like wean myself down, and I was kind of just pumping for like 5 minutes at a time, and like honestly, it just took a weekend. I didn't have any clogged ducts, no mastitis, no pain, no issues, no nothing. It was almost like my body was like, thank God you stopped. It was very easy to kind of wean off. And I was dry. Like I had gone out for like 8 hours that weekend, didn't have to worry about a thing, no leaking, no nothing. Jack was starting to sleep pretty much through the night, so I had gone that entire night. And the next day I pumped and like nothing came out. So I was done, literally done. And then for whatever reason, it was pretty much like right at that moment that I started to feel really guilty. And I can't even explain why. And again, like there's really it's just like, I felt like it's almost like when something happens and you just start seeing stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Like all of a sudden, like the La Leche League that I belong to, like their posts started coming in through Facebook. All of the mom groups that I'm a part of, I saw women like posting about, breastfeeding, asking questions. And then there was that thing on the news where there is the Sports Illustrated model who was like walking the runway like while breastfeeding, and I was just like, God damn it, like it's freaking everywhere. So it was just hour after hour, the entire weekend, like I was just incredibly like second guessing everything, like pretty remorseful, and I just wasn't happy. And like for whatever reason, I just popped him on. I doubt he got anything, but I was like, you know what? Like, I wonder if I could start again. And I had no idea what relactation even was. And I popped him on pretty much every single time I like fed him that day. And I know he wasn't getting anything, so I was just giving him his full bottles and everything like that. And whatever night it was, I Googled, can you breastfeed after stopping? And it's called relactation. And, I read all these different, things. And I was on the Kelly Mom website because I know that that's like a reputable one. But I was like almost embarrassed too, because I feel like before I even got pregnant, I was like, you know what, if breastfeeding doesn't work, like screw it, like I'm going to stop. And then when I had him, I was like, I'm not going to be one of those psychos. Like if this doesn't work, it doesn't work. And like, here I am literally feeling like a psychopath, breastfeeding with like literally no milk. So I don't know why, but in that moment, I just made the decision that I wanted to do it again. And I just wanted to share with you some of the things that I did to, because I'm pretty much almost back to where I was supply wise, but a lot of things are actually different for the better in a way. Okay. So, what I did was honestly put him on the boob every single time he had to eat. And that really did start to get things going again. So literally breastfeeding as often as possible, even if nothing's coming off every single time. And then I would try to pump as much as I could to just make sure that I was emptying everything out if he was feeding. And that's really difficult for me during the week because my husband works full time. So it's just me. And one of the reasons that I candidly stopped breastfeeding and pumping was like I couldn't handle during the week. Like I would literally have to put him in his bouncer or a crib for him to, like if he was unhappy and I had to pump, like I had to literally listen to him cry for 10 minutes. And it was just, the stress was like agonizing. So I just honestly tried to feed him as like much as possible. So I think they call it like a nursing vacation, but like I took like 2-3 days and just nursed around the clock. After a few days, I knew that I was like starting to get supply back in, because before I did all of this, I never knew that like I was having a letdown. I never felt one, ever, ever, ever. And then all of a sudden I was like feeling like almost like pins and needles, like right before like my milk started to come out. And it was just really weird. Like, why would I feel this now? But like, I didn't feel it the whole, first 3 months. So feeding as much as possible, pumping as much as possible. And this is not sponsored like in any way, but I will give you the caveat. Pink Stork did send these to me before I had him. So they reached out to me, I was probably like 7 months pregnant, and gave me this stuff, and I never felt a use or a need to use it until now. So like even when I was nursing for the first 3 months, like I never took this stuff because I'm like, I'm just going to drink water. It is what it is. Whatever I pump or, have is what I have. And I really wasn't into, taking supplements or anything like that. But then when this whole thing started, I was like, you know what? I have it. I might as well try something. So I used basically these pills, the Pink Stork True Milk Breastfeeding Support, and 2 pills is a serving size. I will link these below. And then the tea, I'm not consistent with, like, let's just be honest. Like I probably have this maybe like once or twice a week. But I actually really like this. And I'm a giant tea person, but I don't like fennel. I don't like anise, and I don't like licorice. I don't like spearmint. Like I don't like mint in anything that I consume unless it's a mojito, but I really like the taste of this. It's extremely mild, and I actually mix it with my English breakfast tea, and it's delicious. So again, not sponsored, not getting anything from, mentioning these 2 products, and I won't get anything if you, purchase them, but I believe they sell them at Target. But I've been doing this consistently, this inconsistently, and it's been about 3 weeks, I think, since I started this whole relactating thing, and I'm kind of almost back to where I was. And I'm okay with it. Like I don't really leak anymore, which is weird because I was before, and I don't really have any issues. I'm just kind of doing, and so here's the other thing too. I've been doing a combination of all things ever since Jack was born. So we've introduced bottles early, pacifiers early, formula early. I've tried a bunch of different formulas. Right now we're using the Similac Sensitive. Trying to think what else. Yeah. Like pumping, breastfeeding, formula, doing the combination. I'm a giant like fed is best person. And obviously we've been using formula since day 3. So I had nothing against that. And, me deciding to start breastfeeding again has nothing to do with, any of that kind of stuff. I honestly don't even know where it comes from, but just wanted to share my story with you guys because I know a few of you were like, what did you do? How did you get your supply back up? And I would just, again, nursing as much as possible, pumping as much as possible. Candidly, I only pump for 10 minutes at a time. And that I get I feel like most of my milk early when I'm pumping. And the other thing I will say too, if you're pumping, you might want to look into a hospital grade pump. I had a friend that gave me her Spectra, and it honestly, I think it works so much better than the Medela. It's so much more comfortable, as if pumping is comfortable, but it's a lot more comfortable. It's a lot more quiet. I think it's a lot more efficient, and you can customize your settings to either mimic your baby, or you can just play around with the settings until you find what works best for you. And I did do a blog post on the Spectra versus the Medela that I can link below in this video as well. So hopefully that helps. If you have any tips or suggestions for boosting supply, I would love to hear them. Also, if you've kind of gone through this whole mom guilt thing and the whole relactation thing as well, I would just love to hear from you. But that's all I have, and I will talk to you guys soon.